We've come to the last in this series of videos about how to notate music pitch-wise, and we're now on scales and writing scales with and without key signatures. In the last video, we learned about something called the circle of fifths, and by now you will have been practicing how to draw that, and you will have also been practicing the order of the sharps and the flats. Today we're going to be learning about how to use the circle of fifths when we are writing scales. Now, scales can be written in several ways. They can be written without a key signature, and if you look at the slides now, you'll see that the first example is D major scale written without a key signature. So the sharps are notated specifically in front of the F and the C. In the second example, we have a scale with a key signature, and we talked about key signatures last time, and we're going to learn a little bit more about them now. That's that special set of sharps or flats which tells you exactly what the key is. In this case, D major has two sharps, F and C, and we write out the scale. When we use the key signature, we don't need to write the sharps in front of the specific notes because the key signature deals with that for us. But there are other ways of writing scales too. You can have ascending scales, that means they're going upwards. You can have descending scales, that means they're coming downwards. Or you can have ascending and descending scales, that means you're first going up and then coming down. The important thing to remember is that when you're asked to write an ascending and descending scale, that the top note of the scale is not repeated. You only have to put the one note there. If you look at the example there, you'll see that the D at the top is not repeated, just given once. Now, key signatures, what you need to remember is that a key signature is a bit like a name tag. When we go to a meeting, you often have a name tag that puts your name on it. The key signature acts like that. It says, this piece of music is in this key. It tells you which notes need to be sharpened or flattened to keep that sequence of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Also, remember that the accidentals of the key signature affect all the letter names of that particular one. So, for example, if you look at the slide at the moment, you'll see that there's the D major key signature. Even though the F sharp is only notated on the top F line, all of the Fs, no matter where they are on the stave, are affected by that. So even the bottom space F is affected by that sharp, even though there is no sharp in the key signature in that bottom space. So all of the Fs throughout that stave are going to be F sharps. That is the same for all of the key signatures. Once one of the notes has been sharpened in the key signature, it means that all of them are going to be sharpened. So if the F is sharpened in the key signature, every F will be F sharp. If the C is sharpened in the key signature, every C will be a C sharp. Now, here's an example so that we can see how this works. Imagine the question, write an ascending A major scale without key signature. So step number one, you need to go to your circle of fifths and find A. If you look at the picture there, you'll see that A has got three sharps, and the sharps are F, C, and G. In that specific order. Remember, the order of the sharps is always F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So if we have three sharps, they must be F, C, and G. A major scale has three sharps, so they are F, C, and G. Step 3, we need to write out all of the 8 notes going upwards because the question asked for an ascending scale. So we start on A. You'll see that in the picture that I've given you, A is in the second space, and we need to make sure that we write all of the 8 notes of the scale. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. The first note must always be repeated an octave higher at the end of the scale so that you've got 8 notes. Now the question asked us not to include the key signature. So now we have to add all of the sharps manually. They were F, C, and G. So first you find the note F and you write a sharp in front of it. Then you find the note C and you write a sharp in front of it. And then you find the note G and you write a sharp in front of it. If you look at the picture now or the slide, you will see that I've put those sharps in red. Notice that I haven't put the key signature at the beginning, but I've actually written all of the sharps specifically in front of their notes. So that's how to do that type of question. Let's look at a different type of question. Here we have write the descending E flat major scale with key signature. So step 1 is the same as before. We go and look for E flat on the circle of fifths. If you look carefully, you'll see that E flat has got 3 flats. Our step 2 is to work out what those flats are. Remember that the sequence of the flats is the sequence of the sharps in reverse. Okay, so the first 3 flats are B, E, and A, and they must come in that particular order. Step 3 is that we have to write the scale going downwards. So you start on an E, and in this case I've chosen to start on the E on the top space of the treble clef, and then you come down 8 notes. Remember, it must be 8 notes. The first note E must be repeated with the lower E at the bottom so that you get 8 notes. Now we have to add the correct key signature, and the key signature is in this order: B flat, E flat, A flat. And you'll see that I've put that up on the slide now. B flat, E flat, A flat. In this case, because you've written the key signature, you don't need to write the flats in front of the exact notes because the key signature covers all of those notes. And that concludes this series of videos about pitch and notating pitch. There will be some more videos coming about filling in some of the gaps for you when you're learning these things at home, but this will give you an overview of what you need to know. Remember to look at your textbook that is up on Moodle to check the ins and outs, and also some more of the examples which are done in the textbook, and also a little bit more dialogue in case you are worried about anything. The second thing to remember is that when you've used your textbook, then start working through the examples in your workbook. So those are the worksheets that I've given you. If after you've finished those worksheets you still don't understand or you're not getting the correct answers, that's when you should be contacting me to ask what is going on or why you are getting things incorrect. In the meantime, I wish you everything of the best as you work through these on your own.